All right. Fire them up. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Genre of Your Life podcast, a show all about movies, TV, and the genres that define us. I am one of your hosts, Doug Jones. With me, as always, is my amazing co-host, one of my best friends, the coolest, the wonderful, the amazing. It's Mr. Nick Johnson. How's it going, Nick?
I'm doing gosh darn good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Also, off the bat again, too. To our listeners, Nick is, the perfect screening partner for any movie. I'll tell you this. He makes me laugh like crazy. He sees things that I don't see. Like, check that out. So, Nick, my friend, gotta get your flower. Gotta give you your flowers, my friend. You are the perfect screening partner to the end of time, my friend. So, thank you for being you.
You the perfect screening partner, man. I appreciate that for sure, but thank you, man. But nah, man, it's definitely a pleasure. And I have fun doing it. It's really fun. It wouldn't be fun if it wasn't with you.
Oh, man. Likewise, my boy. Like fucking wise, brother. More importantly, you all are here. But again, welcome to this show. We are on episode number 49. Bro, Nick, we are one away from the 50s, my friend. We are so close. We are this close.
The number 50, that's got to be like a celebration one right there, man. I'm telling you.
Number 50,
every
man.
50th one's like 50, 100, 150.
We have to, man. It's the milestone, man. It's the achievement.
It's
the
milestone.
Bread and butter.
That's right. Wait, what'd you say?
It's the bread and butter, my friend.
That's facts. That's facts.
I was gonna say a joke, but I'll save it for our review portion of the episode.
Okay, bet.
But thank you all for joining. If you're new to the show, welcome to the show. If you're returning to the show, welcome back to the show. Thank you guys for sticking around with us, and hope you're enjoying our just ramblings and love for movies, everything TV, entertainment. We appreciate you being here. As always, guys, you can find the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, YouTube as well. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube Music, or YouTube, whatever, please review, rate the show. We want to hear from you guys, both good, bad, negative, neutral, whatever. We want to hear from you. Your feedback means the world to us. You know, we've been doing the show almost 2 years come November, and your feedback, we've gotten so far, whether it's on our YouTube, whether it's on our Spotify or Apple, we really do see that, and your feedback, comments, reviews, everything, ratings really means the world to us. It helps us out a lot, helps the show out so much too. So keep on commenting, reviewing. It doesn't matter if you're on any kind of social media platform or Apple Podcasts or whatever. Thank you all so much for the ongoing support. It really does mean the world to us. And again, as always, we have a full audio show on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Midway Avenue Productions. We're about to hit 300 subscribers on YouTube, which is pretty big for us because, we're mostly on Spotify, Apple, the podcast platforms. But we've been trying to grow the YouTube with our Out of Theater reactions, clips from the show, our full audio show as well. So seriously, please keep on reviewing, rating, and sharing us with your podcast fans, movie fans, family, friends, janitors, friends, whatever. Please, we really do. Everybody, apes. we want to hear
your
Caesar,
aunties,
whatever.
your uncles, your friends, your enemies, your mamas, your daddies, everybody.
Exactly. Doesn't matter. Thank you, everybody.
Yep. This channel, this podcast right here, everybody, is ready to eat for everybody.
I like that. I like that. I like that shit. I like that. But thank you all for sticking with us, and hope you're enjoying the weekly podcast every week. So thank you again. Before we begin, guys, before we do our episode tonight, I did want to shout out. First off, we have on the show here, me and Nick, obviously, we have one of the best publicists in the game with our lovely Lee, and so it's pretty cool actually. So, Nick, have you heard about this Blue Angels IMAX film coming to Amazon Prime and theaters? Actually,
Blue Angels, I have not. Tell me about it.
So this is really cool. So the Blue Angels actually is a documentary featuring never before seen footage that chronicles a year with the Navy's elite flight demonstration squadron, from selection through challenging training and demanding show season, showcasing the extraordinary teamwork, passion, and pride that fuels America's best, the Blue Angels. It's an IMAX documentary produced by the legendary J.J. Abrams.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's really cool because if you know this thing about IMAX started off actually their big thing was IMAX documentaries. So, they had like Ron Howard documenting one, Leo DiCaprio. Like it was like that was like their how they got, because they were filming all this stuff with IMAX cameras. It was all document not found footage, but like documentaries, kind of just like nature docs, space docs, or whatever. And that's when Christopher Nolan kind of took it and then ran with it with the IMAX filmmaking and narrative filmmaking with The Dark Knight. So this is pretty cool, actually. So for 1 week only, from I believe May 17th to the 23rd, you can see this movie exclusively in IMAX. And again, guys, if you're not an IMAX fan or not been to IMAX before, Nick can contest to this as well. IMAX is the way to go. It is.
No, IMAX is next level because it ups the experience, and I love it. Oh man, I can't say enough good things about the IMAX experience.
It literally also looking for a sponsor here at IMAX, so we got you. But
Wait, say that again.
Hey, not gonna lie, looking for a sponsorship, IMAX. Come on, we're your boys.
Yeah, hey IMAX, if you're listening, hit us up because we stay watching your movies.
We're there. Day one. We're there. Day one. No matter if it's Marvel, DC, Doom, Blade Runner, Star Wars. We're there. Hook us up, man. We got you. This is free marketing, my friend. But no, IMAX is next step. Like, it's the way to go. If you can see a movie in IMAX, especially a movie that's got filmed for IMAX, like a Dune or a Top Gun or a Blade Runner or any Avengers movie, you're seeing a lot more of the screen. The sound is booming. It is like, if you see like something like Oppenheimer, you see the 1:4:3 IMAX ratio, you got to. It's really cool just to be the experience because it is pure cinematic immersion more than any other format. Personally, it is the way to go. If you have an IMAX, even a 1:4:3 or regular 1.190, you guys see it at IMAX. So Blue Angels will be debuting for a week only exclusively in IMAX from the 17th to 23rd of May, and then you stream it at home on Amazon Prime, on the streaming service. But seriously, guys, I think it's really, really cool to see a movie like this produced by J.J. Abrams. Also, the new heartthrob, which is Glenn Powell from Top Gun Maverick, from Anyone But You. It's going to be the new Twisters movie this summer. So again, I'm hearing really, really cool things about it. So again, if you again haven't been to IMAX before, if you're an IMAX fan, you're curious about the Blue Angels or just aircraft, anything, aviation, definitely see this in IMAX. But if you can't go to IMAX, understandable. It'll be debuting on Amazon Prime on May 23rd. So don't forget, Blue Angels and IMAX first, and then Amazon Prime on May 23rd. We'll have a link to the description. Get your tickets on our link tree as well as the description here on this podcast episode. So again, guys, it is Blue Angels produced by the great J.J. Abrams and Glenn Powell. Get your tickets now. And I guess, of course, I want to thank our friends, Amazon Prime, of course, our lovely publicist, Lee. So check that out, our friends. All right, so moving on to our next topic, Superman. So first off, Nick, you're the Superman expert. No doubt about it. I'm telling you, I'm gonna hype you up real quick. Actually, appreciate this guy. Nick has one of the best knowledges on anything DC, Marvel, especially DC. And it's really cool that we had a really nice comment review about us on Apple Podcast that kind of highlighted Nick's knowledge. Because again, Nick, this guy is an encyclopedia of I'm telling you, any kind of question, anything, this guy knows. This guy knows the fact. He knows everything. And one thing that you and I bonded over and we met in college was how fucking good Man of Steel is. It's a 10 out of 10.
Very underappreciated film. I got to admit.
God.
There's going to be those of you who maybe disagree with me. It's all right to disagree. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. We can respect different people's opinions. But in my opinion, bro, like Man of Steel, oh my God, like that's chef's kiss. That's chef's kiss right there.
It is chef's kiss. It is one of the best superhero movies. Like you said too, it is vastly, and I mean vastly, underappreciated because that.
And you know what?
What's that?
I'm going to say this. The majority of the MCU movies do not touch Man of Steel.
I would agree with that.
Yep.
Hot take. You know what? I'm with you on the hot take because I feel like, there's like 30 movies now in the MCU. I think.
Yeah, I lost count. Yeah, I low-key stopped counting after Endgame. They should have wrapped up after that, respectfully.
I feel like you can take I think we have both have our own top tens. We'll do that eventually another podcast probably with the boys, like ranking our whole top 10 of the MCU films.
Oh
But
yeah, for sure.
I think you're right. I think outside of like the top 10, I think a lot of us have the same kind of top 10 in our same like yeah, like Black Panther, Endgame, Infinity War,
Yeah, the
stuff
the
like
one
that.
the MCU movies that come closest to, I guess, like matching the quality of Man of Steel. How you just said, like Black Panther, Infinity War, and Endgame, like those ones, those really are the closest, but it's still like barely. You know what I mean? Like, nah,
Yeah, no,
they just can't really compete.
it's true. It's in terms of like also rewatchability factor too. Like I feel like I can watch. I think we and I can both watch Man of Steel any day, and you can still like you get goosebumps. You hear Hans Zimmer's
Yeah,
theme.
and any day,
It's
every day.
oh, facts. You're right. You caught me there. You're absolutely right. And it's something that you can really just like you appreciate more and more. And I think especially I think there's definitely been more of like a found love for that thing for that movie years after 10 years after it came out, which is hard to 11 years actually now. 11 years come next month, which is crazy. But I
Yep.
remember when it came out, I think you I know too, it was like it was so divisive. I remember people were like, "Yo, fuck this movie," or it was like, "Oh, this movie was great." And I'm just like, yeah, like, huh? And I'm seeing it with friends, and we were like, this movie's awesome. And I was like, 55 Rotten Tomatoes, huh? Like, what did
No, that was
you?
ridiculous, man. Because like when I saw it in theaters and I loved it, I was like, this is the best at the time. Like I was like, this is the best Superman movie. This is the best superhero movie. But all the reviews were very like kind of
Polarizing.
not like mid, but it was like a lot of what I was hearing was like, all right, well, I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to, or as much as I wanted to, or like I just thought it was too dark, or it was like blah blah blah. And I'm not gonna say like every single argument against this movie was false, but it really seemed like it was a whole lot of people just like either not really getting it or just disliking it because like well I basically want the like the old school Christopher Reeve, trunks on the outside Superman. And there's nothing wrong with that because he's the Christopher Reeve movie, at least the first two, like those ones are really good. I do, in my opinion, I think that Christopher Reeve is like the best like the best film Superman actor. But like golly, like Man of Steel, it's so incredibly underappreciated.
It
And
really
some people,
is.
it's like I feel like it was just people didn't really get it. You know what I mean? And it was just kind of like it was like I don't know what it was. And interestingly enough, and I know I'm kind of like rambling here, but fuck it,
Go
low
ahead.
key.
Go ahead. This is your show,
Like
my friend.
because it seemed like with Man of Steel and with Zack Snyder, that was the first movie where fans and audiences started to get like divided in terms of their opinion about superhero
Right.
movies. Because it seemed like every superhero movie up until that point, everybody either agreed like we either like this movie or we don't like this movie. But when Man of Steel came out and when Zack Snyder came on the scene, that's when everything kind of got shaken up a little bit. That's when like the comic book movie fan community divided basically. So it's really interesting. And like we're still talking about it to this day. It's funny how people are like kind of like dogging and shitting on Snyder's films, but again, it's not like again, like I would just say, like we're still talking about it now. So that's interesting in and of itself. It's like if it is it really like is it really as shitty as people say? In my opinion, no. But again, it's like I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
It's weird, dude. It is very weird, and I think you make a good point too. Because up until that point, it was all like Marvel, 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 and obviously we had the DC, like we had Nolan's DC. I mean, exception
Yeah.
of shitty Green Lantern that no one liked.
Yeah, that was a rough one. I was so excited for that Green
I
Lantern movie
know,
because it was
bro.
like finally a DC movie that's not just Superman or Batman.
Yeah.
And like and like Ryan Reynolds, it's funny too because Ryan Reynolds, I envision him more as like a Wally West Flash, like for the movie. So like when it was announced he's going to be Green Lantern, I was kind of like, okay, I'm not like really feeling that casting, but I'm excited for the movie. And I thought the suit initially looked cool. Like when I first saw it on the cover of Entertainment Weekly, like I just kind of like felt I was a very like just kind of like wide-eyed, oh man, like I love everything that's new. And like I like the suit a lot because it was like, wow, this is interesting because it actually just looks like energy. It doesn't look like a
Right.
costume. So I thought that was an interesting take. And like after watching the movie, like Ryan Reynolds, he's a good actor and he is a good Hal Jordan, but it just like wasn't really the best movie. And to the Wally West point, ironically, I think in like the early 2000s, David S. Goyer he had either written or was gonna like write and or direct a Wally West Flash movie, and Ryan Reynolds was gonna be the Flash in that one. So it's like, man, can you imagine? And another funny thing too, like when that Green Lantern movie came out, it was a planned trilogy, and I think it was
Yeah.
also going to kick off it was going to kick off like a DC cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know why they decided to do that with Green Lantern instead of Superman or even Batman. If you're going to do a DC cinematic universe, you have to make Superman the center of it. He has to be the main character. It makes sense on so many levels because he's when you think about superheroes in some way, whether directly or indirectly, you will conceptualize in your head some image of Superman.
Yes. Yeah.
You feel me? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's just
Well
how it is.
said.
When you think about superheroes, you always think about the trunks on the outside and the cape. Where does that come from? Superman. And
Mm-hmm.
also, if I'm gonna get like, philosophical on it, in a lot of ways, like it's like I'll break it down like this. I'll break it down like this. Like Superman is like he's the center of the DC universe, and it's interesting because he's powered by the sun, and the universe, the sun is the center of the universe. So it just, oh my gosh, it makes sense on damn near a spiritual level.
No, it does.
Yeah,
Well said. And it's like you're right. It's definitely weird. It's definitely weird. Like why would you pick that? Why would you pick Green Lantern out of things to kind of like start your universe? And
yeah. Green
again,
Lantern. I don't know about all that. Like he maybe could have been like the second or third movie, not fourth. You got
it's
to do Superman, Batman, and then Wonder Woman,
hmm
and then after that, just do like whichever other Justice League characters, and then lead into Justice League.
it's kind of like what happened with Dark Universe at Universal. Like you're putting your cart before your horse. Like
Oh yeah,
don't plan shit until you really have a foundation. Again, if Iron Man didn't work, I'm telling you the MCU would probably not would have happened the way it did, or not would have happened until like much later on. But they got
right.
lucky. Is you just can't start shit and be like, all right. Again, and to be fair, no, that's why I think WB had an issue with the DCU in general, because like they were like, got to compete with Marvel. It's like slow down. Marvel has a
Right.
now 5 year head on you start on you guys. Slow it down. Develop these characters. You have great actors. You have a great filmmaker with Snyder. You have all these great people on board. Slow the fuck down
Yeah, slow
and
down, like figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it,
plan.
and then you execute. And also,
Exactly.
to your point, don't compete with someone else because
Mm-hmm.
that's in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion,
Dangerous.
that's what really fucked them up.
Mm-hmm. They
Because
were.
I know like Snyder, he had his own plan for like, hey man, this is how I want the DCEU to go. Had they like, whether you agree with his plan or not, it wouldn't have been rushed had they kind of just let him do his own thing,
Mm-hmm.
like do like
Yeah.
Man of Steel 2, Batman, BVS, so on and so forth, and then lead into Justice League. But Warner Brothers, like you just said, like they were trying too hard to compete with Marvel. They rushed the Justice League movie. Now it's an interesting trilogy, like how they did it, because it was kind of just like Man of Steel was the starting off point, and everything else was like just an expansion of that, and that was interesting to see. I haven't seen that done in film before like that, because usually it's like it's this movie and then this is the follow up. But what Snyder did was like the follow up was just again an expansion. It was Superman, now it's Superman and Batman, now it's Superman, Batman, and and the Justice League. So it wasn't like sequels in the traditional sense, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, they should have they should not have rushed it. They shouldn't have been trying to compete. So that was the
Yeah.
downfall. The
Absolutely.
biggest DC villain, at least for a time being, was Warner Brothers.
Yeah. I mean. I mean that was a point where again remember they were going through so many different changes and
Yeah.
they were just like they didn't know what they were doing. Some of their execs got in trouble too. It was just like it seemed like
Yeah.
everything was changing like every day. No, this person's on, this person's off. No, this is going on. Like there was no like consistency. There was no like communication. It was very just messy. and
Right.
you can tell. I mean, you can tell. Like you said too, like behind the scenes, what I mean with their movie stuff like that, it's like you can tell there was no cohesive likeness. There was nothing like kind of like, hey, we're all on the same page. People were just like, no, we're doing this, we're doing that, this movie, whatever. And it's obviously we know how much studio interference they had with their movies, i.e. BVS, i.e. Justice League, i.e. Suicide Squad, the first Suicide
Yep.
Squad. And yeah, it's you can tell too, man. Again, that's why I really recommend people listen to David Ayer interview with John Bernthal on not the Hot Ones. That's the wrong. I did that again. That's the wrong podcast. Real Ones with John Bernthal, because he really explains like what happened, like his kind of side of the story. And again, it's just like it makes sense because of like what happened around that time, 2016 era of like the competition between like Fox Marvel, MCU Marvel, and DC. It was just like it was all kind of like competition. It's just like be your own thing. You have this lore, you have these characters for a reason. Just do your own thing, make it special,
Right.
make it your own thing. That's why I'm kind of like, just slow down, like slow down.
Right.
But anyway, so speaking of which, now as we all know, we talked about this on the show multiple times. DCEU ended unfortunately with the awful and just terrible Aquaman 2 in the Lost Kingdom.
What a joke.
Literally what a joke. Like
For real.
don't get me started on that. I was like, ugh. Um, so anyway, so we all know James Gunn taking over with Peter Safran. They're gonna be the co-chairman, co-CEOs of DC at Warner Brothers, or DC Studios, now the DCEU, as they're calling it. And I think it was Tuesday, right? Tuesday or Monday when the photo dropped. It was one of those days. I think it was.
I want to say Tuesday, I think.
I think so too. I think so. And it was like I remember I logged into work. My phone went off. It was like James Gunn shares a new look at Superman. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was like, all right, cool. And then as Beretta say, the internet went crazy. But Nick, again, you are the Superman expert. You have the S on your chest for a reason.
That's
What
facts. That's facts.
what was
For those of
your?
you who don't know, I have a Superman tattoo on my chest.
And
It's,
it's so
it's just
cool.
the little logo.
It's really cool. It's probably one of the coolest tattoos I've ever seen. Like, I'm trying to cap, like, dead ass. It is. Uh,
Thank you. Thank you.
you're the Superman guy. You know this lore. You know his character more than anyone I've ever met in my life. What was your kind of reaction to this first look, this first photo of David Corenswet, right? Is that his name?
Corenswet, yeah.
Corenswet. Thank you. Of Superman.
Like initially, because I got to pull up right now. Um, it's I got mixed feelings on it. I'm not gonna lie. Because I remember when like as we were getting closer to the reveal, like James Gunn was saying, for the Superman suit, I want to take inspiration from like a few different generations of the suit. And looking at it, the logo that they initially revealed, it was very reminiscent. It's the Kingdom Come logo, so that definitely had me intrigued. And I like the Kingdom Come logo. Some people that I've talked to, they're not really like fucking with it like that, but overall, it's like the picture. I got mixed feelings on it. Like I like the mood and the tone of it. I like that he's getting I like that he has kind of like a serious face and like he's putting on his boots, and with that aspect, it doesn't look like a CGI suit. It looks practical and it looks real. Like you can feel it, and it's all like textured and everything like that. It looks like an actual suit. So that's cool. And I can see it looks like the new 52 a little bit, like some of the lines in the shoulder and like these not like knee pads, but some of the lines, but it's not exactly what I was hoping for. I'm hoping that it'll look better in action, like in the movie, like when we see it like move a little bit.
Yeah.
I can tell that there's trunks. I got mixed feelings on the trunks because they are iconic, but there's ever since I was a kid, I've never really liked seeing trunks like in the movie. It was because I never understood, why does he have trunks? Like, why
Right.
does he have the red underwear on the outside? Like, I can't really take him seriously, but I can see why James Gunn would do it, because he likes to do like weird visuals and stuff
He
like that.
does.
And, I could tell he's trying to harken back to a more campy kind of like old fashioned version of the character. But because of that, I think I was expecting more of a classic version of the suit. You know what I mean? But it looks kind of strange to me. I think it's got a little bit too much going on. Like you can't do the new 52 suit with the trunks on the outside. That's my opinion. Like you got to do one or the other. I would just do the new 52 with like a gold belt, the Kingdom Come logo. Still have it, maybe have it be a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more form fit because it looks kind of baggy on them. A little bit more form fit, still textured and everything. Take some of the lines out. I'm not mad at the collar, but and I see that there's a belt on it. I can't quite make out what the belt looks like, so I don't really have an opinion on that. But I do see he's got the S curl, which I'm excited to see. I think that's going to be cool. It looks like something's going on in the background. Like that might be Solaris from All Star Superman. Some people have been saying Brainiac, which like is possible. I'm not going to just sit up here and say it's not, but it would be more interesting to me if it was Solaris one because we haven't seen him or we haven't seen that character in the movies yet. I guess we technically haven't seen Brainiac in the movies yet either, but like, Solaris is a little bit he's more of an obscure character, and James Gunn, I know he likes to do those obscure characters. So like overall though, like with the suit, it's like there's stuff that I like about it, and there's stuff that I think can be improved a little bit. Pardon me, y'all. My fiance is walking it. Hey, say hi real quick.
Hey,
What's up, Kaylin?
Say hi to the people, my love.
what's up, people? How you doing?
We're talking about the Superman suit, baby. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Matter of fact, since I got you, what do you think about the Superman suit? Just real quick.
We want to know.
They really could have done a lot better. It looks like it's cosplay, but it looks like it's kind of like cosplay, but just not executed well.
It does kind of. It looks like well done cosplay. Like if I was at Comic-Con and I saw someone wearing that, I'd be like, yo, damn, bro, that's a good suit. But also like not necessarily. I'm trying to see that in the movie. So
No.
and also like another thing, I'm hoping it's like one of those kind of like in between suits. Like I was telling my older brother Brian, who interestingly enough, he's the one who got me into the character Superman. So shout out to my brother Brian. But I was telling him like it would be interesting if his suit, if there was like an evolution of the suit, right? So like when he's kind of first starting off as Superman, like the first suit, it's very like not rough, but very much like a rough draft. Like I'm a farm boy, I don't have money to make a suit, so I'm just gonna kind of like do this. Like, and there was when the New 52 started in 2011, in Action Comics, which was the Superman run, his suit it was like some farmer's boots, some socks, some jeans, a literal Superman T-shirt, and like he had a cape too, but like the cape was the blanket that he was wrapped in when he came to Earth initially. So even though it was just a cape, it was still like indestructible. But like so like if I would have a word like that's the first suit, and then this suit that we see right now, this is kind of the like the secondary suit, and then hopefully like third act where it's like the movie's over and now he's like even more established as a character Superman, and moving forward in the DCU he has a more like classic iconic, again, more streamlined suit. So like I would do it like that. But this like there's good and there's bad to it in my opinion. I like that he's like I think I mentioned this earlier, like you could tell on his face he's like, all right, y'all, let's get suited and booted and let's it looks like he's about to like throw some hands. So but yeah, like the logo is my favorite part. The facial expression is my second favorite part. I'm wondering low-key if this is Lois's apartment, because again, Clark Kent is a farm boy. I doubt that he would have a an apartment this high up, because this damn near looks like a penthouse. I can see this being Lois Lane's apartment.
This shit.
Yeah, because I'm like I know you're making like $2.85 an hour. That's $2.85 just in case so y'all didn't get that joke. But yeah, I'm kind of it's like it's kind of cool. It's like it's cool, but there's room for improvement in my opinion. And I've seen a lot of people also bringing up like it looks like it's two shades of blue. Like the pants are a lighter shade of blue than the top, but at the same time, I don't know if people realize it looks like it's battle damage. So like yes, the blue on his torso is darker, but it looks like it's darker because he got hit by a laser or some shit.
Oh yeah, I see
you
that
feel
too.
me? So I'm kind of like
looking right now. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I'm like, how do y'all not notice that? But you can clearly see that the S is a little fucked up. So yeah, Yeah, I'm like, did people just ignore that or what? It's like very, very selective viewpoints, which is interesting. But that's my quick thoughts on it.
Yeah, we talked about last night at the screening before the movie started, and we're time for the show, obviously. Again, as someone who loves Superman, I really did love Henry Cavill as Superman. I think he's my favorite Superman. And what you said too before as well. The interesting is that remember, even with Superman Returns, people again very divisive movie too. Like it was like, oh, they're trying to copy Christopher Reeve, the heck, whatever. And again, it was just like you couldn't win with these people. It was just like you either hate this movie or love it. And then when Man of Steel came out, people are like, no, it's too dark. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but you just complained about Superman Returns of like
exactly, yeah. People are like, well, Superman Returns is too boring, and like you just said, it's copying the Christopher Reeve one. Even though that was literally the point. It was a continuation of the Christopher Reeve Superman. So like you just said, people are complaining about that. Then Man of Steel comes, and like Christopher Reeve or Superman Returns, like it's too boring, it's this and it's that, like blah blah blah. Like I want more action and da 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 da.
And you got it.
And then Zack Snyder comes on the scene and he's doing Man of Steel. He's like, okay, I'll say less. I'm gonna do hella action, cool sci-fi concepts, and it's gonna be like an interesting mythology. But then when that movie comes out, like the audience is like, yeah, but I want the Christopher Reeve Superman because he was the best. Y'all just complained about getting more of the Christopher Reeve one, so it's like. People are just bitching just to bitch about it.
100%. I think the same. I think the same thing's happening right now. And again, that too. I think people are a little harsh on the guy too. Like, you're not Henry Cavill. It's not his fault. Like, he got a job. I mean, again, he's no offense to the guy either. I don't know. I'm not saying anything that he's in personally, but again, he's not really a household name. And again, you get a job like this. Are you kidding me? Like this job
makes you a household name because
exactly.
Like Christopher Reeve, it was similar with him too. He wasn't the most well-known actor when he was cast. Damn, low key, same thing with Henry Cavill.
Same thing.
Nobody really knew Henry Cavill until he did Superman. So that's very interesting. Wow, that's a good point, bro.
It's seriously. It's like again, he has to like again. He's gonna either. You love him or hate him, but I feel like you can't really hate the guy because like you're not Henry Cavill. You're right, he's not Henry Cavill, but at the same time, like don't fault the guy for getting a job, for getting a great job that probably paid good money. And you say to your point exactly, make him a household name. This job, this movie will get him his next job if the movie is
exactly,
good.
Yeah. If he was Henry Cavill, people would just be complaining about that because people were complaining about Henry Cavill when he was Superman, and now he's out. People are all saying like, "Well, I want Henry Cavill back." No, but y'all are the ones that were like shitting on him when he had the role, and now he's gone, and now y'all want him back.
Where were y'all? Where were you guys at? Where were y'all at?
Yeah, and dang, you know what, Doug? To that point you just made, like, where were y'all at? I remember, like, when like Man of Steel BVS was coming out. Again, everybody was shitting on Snyder, like I don't like his movies and like blah blah blah. Like I want something that's more, like more lighthearted and shit. So then they get Joss Whedon to do Justice League or to redo Justice League. That movie comes out, nobody likes it. Everybody disliked it so much that they brought back Snyder to just do his version of the movie. And then everybody loved it. And then everyone was like, well, yeah, this is what it should have been the whole time. It's like, no.
Where were y'all?
Where was y'all when he was originally doing the movie? Because, like, bro, man.
Seriously, where were y'all? It's like, again,
I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this shit.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. That's too damn
bad.
It's like come. It's like you just can't win with this kind of like toxicity. And I'm like, again, and I remember when the photo came out because I texted you, we talked about yesterday. I was like, yeah, I had no feeling towards it. I'm just like, I'm kind of skeptical of this movie going in for like other reasons. I'm like, yeah, we'll see. But like, I did not expect to see all the hate that this movie got. This photo got. I was like, it's a photo. Again, you said it really. You elaborated well and you explained why. People were just like, no. I hate James Gunn. I hate this guy. It's like.
Yeah, just right off the bat, like, goddamn, give him a chance. The movie ain't even come out yet.
Yeah, and I thought it was Pepto-Bismol in the background that he's fighting. So I was like, I know. Yesterday I thought the movies. I was like, yeah, Pepto-Bismol. So I'm going in skeptical. I'm not gonna be like, oh no. I had to. Hey, let's see a trailer first before we start. The pitchforks, like, no, angry mob, the mob mentality of it all. And it's like again, I remember when I saw the first thing of Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and I was like, oh hell no! I said, hell no! Who the fuck is this kid? I was like, absolutely not, absolutely not, absolutely not. And then he grew on me, obviously. I was like, what? This guy's good at Spider-Man. Again, it's like, I love being proven wrong about stuff all the time. Like, oh, this movie was great. That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty damn good. So it's just like with this, again, I'm not. You know, I talked about this before on the show off air that like we're both skeptical about it because it's like, can James Gunn really do a Superman movie with his track record? You know, again, it's like, you know, he's a good filmmaker, but is he the guy? Is he the right guy to do it?
Right.
And again, we'll see a trailer first, whatever. But I think the way how this photo pissed off an entire country, it's just like almost the world is just like. It's a photo of a movie that they're 2 months into production.
Right. Yeah. It's like let's give him a chance first, because like, you know, again, I'm holding a hope. Maybe it'll look better when we see it like actually in movement, like actually in action.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, people just like to complain about shit these days.
Oh, dude, they find the smallest thing, like, no, not my Superman. It's like,
and it's like, what do you mean? You hadn't even experienced his version of Superman yet.
Exactly.
Who is your Superman? You know what I mean? It's like, because it wasn't Christopher Reeve, it wasn't Henry Cavill when he was Superman.
Was it Brandon Routh, whatever?
It wasn't Brandon Routh, yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you. This might be a hot take. Superman Returns was it was a very underrated movie.
Oh yeah, dude! Dude, as a kid, bro. Oh, I love that, dude. I still appreciate that movie. Again, despite him being a weirdo, Kevin Spacey was a good Lex Luthor.
Yeah, like as far as like acting chops, he was a solid Lex in that movie. But that's the only compliment I can give him. I don't fuck with Kevin Spacey these days.
Nope, neither do I. No sir.
Yeah, and it was funny because as a kid, I liked Superman Returns, right?
Yeah.
And then the older I got, the more I liked it. So it's like I liked it back then, but I like it and appreciate it a lot more now, because it's very, very good. And they even had plans for sequels for that movie. They were going to do some new Krypton type shit.
I remember that, and unfortunately that movie has had a bad life, not in terms of this, because you have Kevin Spacey involved. You know, we all know that. And you also have a fucking weirdo, this gross ass Bryan Singer attached to that movie too. So you have kind of baggage with that movie with those fucking idiots.
Right.
So it's just like, oh man, like it's a great movie, but like people involved with it. Pretty bad. The
people involved with this kind of like, y'all tainted it a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's the movie that he left X3 to do, correct?
That's right. Yeah, and you remember in X3 when Cyclops died, they killed him off because I guess the studio was feeling kind of funky about him doing Superman Returns.
That's right. Yeah, movie. God, X3 is a piece of work.
They fucked up X3, and even with X3, the guy that ended up taking over it, Brett Ratner, he was caught up in the same shit that Kevin Spacey and Bryan Singer were caught up in.
All predators.
It's like goddamn y'all.
Yes.
I'm not gonna get into that, but you know, it's kind of like it's all this shit that's kind of just like how I just said, like tainting everything. You know what I mean? It's like
absolutely.
It's like we gotta, I guess, separate the art from the artist when these examples.
Oh, it's tough.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's tough when you have people it's hard when you have so many people, like all three of them involved. You're just like, right, you kind of ruined you kind of tainted the brand a little bit. But I'm with you, dude. I really do like Superman Returns. I think I watched it recently, not too long ago. I think during COVID or maybe a year or two ago, and I was like, this is a fun movie. Like, again, I grew up with the Superman, the Christopher Reeves ones. Like, it's a fun movie. It's a very kind of like it's definitely a Clark Kent movie more than Superman at times.
Yeah,
but you can still appreciate like what they were going for. And again, it's a very fun at a time when it was like the era of like the Dark Knights and like the X-Men movies. It was kind of like, hey, let's bring back Superman because it's been a while. Because remember, I think Superman the movies as well. Like they did like too many of them. Like I heard like the Richard Pryor one's like really bad apparently. Or
oh man, like the. Dude, I've only seen the Richard Pryor one once, and it was one time when I was a little kid. I'm talking about like elementary school, bro. I've not watched it since then, but that was a weird one. Like I watched it obviously because of Superman and because of Richard Pryor, and like it was like, oh, Richard Pryor's in a Superman movie. I got to see that, but because it wasn't Richard Donner directing it. Like the guy that directed it, I think he primarily directed like comedies. And I remember like when I was watching it. Yeah, like when I was watching, there's this opening sequence where it's all this weird slapstick comedy shit. And because I remember I was watching it like online on Netflix, and I kept pausing the movie to check the title because it was like, there's no way this is a Superman movie. Because it was people like slipping on banana peels and like at some point, like I think it was like a water hose or something like that got like pointed. A water hose got like put into like someone's car and it just flooded the car and the dude was stuck in it. So Superman had to come in and save him. And it was just like this long ass like 10-minute sequence of just essentially just like cartoonish Looney Tunes bad luck shit going on. And I was just like,
yeah,
what the fuck? And Richard Pryor wasn't even funny in that movie. And I was like, dude, he's one of the best comedians of all time. Like so many people, like Martin, he inspired Martin Lawrence, bro. You know what I mean? And so on and so forth. So it was just kind of like, how did y'all waste him, bro? And I think I mentioned like they hadn't really done Brainiac like on screen. I think in an earlier draft of that movie, the main villain was gonna, or the villain at the end was gonna be Brainiac, but something happened and they weren't able to do it. But there is like an evil computer system that starts trying to like take over humanity or something like that. And it's like, damn, that's Brainiac right there.
Do you remind when you said the banana peel stuff? I don't know if you can hear this, but remind me of this sound.
Yep. That was the first like 10-15 minutes of Superman 3.
That's funny. I think I went to the Dollar Tree a year or two ago, and I saw the dollar section. It was like Superman 3. I was like, over $1, and I was like, no. Again, I've seen the movie, but I've heard like how bad it is. I'm just like, I'll save my dollar. I'll save my dollar.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, because it was just like, why did y'all do this? Because also like they had Richard Pryor on the cover of it. That like it's just kind of as being like a comic book fan. I think this is why it sticks out to me so much. Like y'all put a comedian in the superhero movie and y'all were like emphasizing, oh, look at this comedian like that. Imagine if that would be like if Kevin Hart ends up being in this new Superman movie and like he's on the cover, like it's only David Corenswet as Superman and Kevin Hart with him as Superman. And like the whole thing is like, it's a Superman movie, but we got Kevin Hart in it though.
You're trying to really market this one name of the like how they did with Bryan Cranston and Godzilla. It's like look who's in this, but it's just like you're not using these actors or these comedians or whatever like to the full extent.
You're not using them the right way.
Yeah, you're wasting them.
You're exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself, man.
You're wasting them, man. It's just like, huh?
He's like, you're ruining it, man.
You're ruining it. So, I don't know. Again, it comes out almost in a year, so we got a year to come. Yeah, we'll probably have a trailer. I'd say we got a trailer like early fall, probably early fall around like obviously Halloween, or I'm trying to think like there's no DC or like whatever the next big Warner Brothers movie coming out at the end of the year or that time. I know when. Joker 2. The Joker 2.
Oh, yeah. You got to drop that Joker 2.
Joker 2.
You got to drop it.
October.
Because I'm definitely excited for the movie. Because, again, I'm a huge Superman fan. I was a little iffy when James Gunn was first being announced to essentially be like the Kevin Feige for DC.
Yeah.
Then when it was like, oh, well, he's writing it and he's directing it, I was kind of like, I like him as a filmmaker. He wasn't really on my list for like a Superman director / writer, but I got faith in him, or rather, I have hope.
Yeah, there you go. That's the right word. Actually, I'm gonna ask you this. Maybe not even. Oh, I guess it's only been. It'll be 4 months. I think maybe come July. What about Comic-Con?
Oh yeah, some Hall H action.
Yeah, I mean they're still going to be like really into production, but I think when he shot the first Guardians, I think he had like 3 weeks in. He had like a little teaser for everyone, like when the first Guardians was being filmed back in 2013. So I would say maybe I would say definitely Joker 2, but I wouldn't be surprised come July he might be like, guess what? We have a little bit teaser for you, like. Nothing's finished, but like check it out. So maybe Comic-Con. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Comic-Con is a safe bet.
I think Comic-Con. I think we might get a full trailer. All right, it could be either this. It could either be a exclusive. I don't think it's gonna happen. They've done this in a while because they put everything on their YouTube right after anyway. Either they're gonna show something exclusively for the Comic-Con attendees and then wait till Joker 2 drop the actual trailer for like everyone else putting on Comic-Con, or they're gonna drop they're gonna drop the they'll reveal it at Comic-Con, put it on YouTube like right after, and then we'll all see it for stuff, and then possibly another full trailer, like a teaser during Comic-Con, and then a full trailer before Joker 2, or nothing at Comic-Con. Wait till Joker 2, and then hey, you see Joker 2 opening weekend, you can see the trailer for Superman, whatever. So that's how I see it. But I feel like James Gunn likes going to Comic-Con, so I like he probably will go there, kind of like show something or behind the scenes footage, something like that. I don't know. Because again, it's like this is their first, I guess, Comic-Con. Well, no, last year, but it was still like the DC EU era. But like this is kind of his first Comic-Con this year, officially as a co-chairman with Peter Safran. So yeah, the possibilities are endless. But yeah, that's July 11th, 2025. But to our audience, let us know in the comments. Let us know on our YouTube, our Instagram, or the comments here on the podcast, whatever. How you feeling about this trailer? The photo, are you liking it? Are you kind of like indifferent about it? Do you hate it, love it, whatever? Let us know in the comments on our social medias as well, our YouTube or our podcast feed.
Yes, indeed.
And we will, again, we have a whole year out. So again, I think it's safe to say like we'll just wait till the trailer comes out, and then we'll have more of a, I guess, opinion on that when it comes out. But I do like your take on that, Nick. I feel like, again, you know this character more than anyone I know. Like, you know his character really kind of like thick and thin. So I wanted to ask you on air is like how you felt about it. So again, I'm intrigued. But like I'm kind of siding with you a lot of like indifferent, but also kind of just like nothing special.
Yeah, because it's like you talking about the movie or the suit.
The suit.
Yeah, because it's like there's definitely, again, like I just said, it's good and bad to the suit, but it looks like rough draft. Like it looks like they just need to kind of like refine it a little bit, just make a couple more tweaks, and lose the trunks too. If in my opinion, if you're gonna do the trunks, just basically do the classic Superman suit. Like, and matter of fact, when it was after the logo was revealed. Excuse me, my bad. After the logo was revealed, there was a supposed leaked photo of David Corenswet in the full suit, and it looked like
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
You saw that? Yeah,
I remember that.
And that one looked cool too, because it just looked like the All-Star suit, because the cape was like right at the knees, if not a little bit above, and it was kind of like curved, and it just had the same like Kingdom Come logo. I'm like, it was like, I don't like the trunks on the outside necessarily, but overall, like I thought it was a fun suit, and I like that it was a combination of All-Star and Kingdom Come. Like All-Star, that's one of my two favorite Superman comic books of all time, and like Kingdom Come is just fucking iconic. But like I was fucking with it. It was like, okay, and I can see James Gunn kind of doing this. So this suit, it definitely surprised me, because I think I was expecting James Gunn to do something a little bit more, quote unquote, comic accurate.
Right.
But again, like it looks like a combination of a bunch of different Superman suits. But excuse me, I think it is kind of just it's like a bit too much going on for me. You know what I mean? Like it's like simplify it a little bit and just refine it, like da 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 da. Just just tweak it a little bit. That's kind of my opinion on it. I like the logo though. Don't change the logo.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the logo too. And again, I think it's safe to say we just gotta wait this summer until we see a trailer, and then we can dissect it more. But again, I feel like how people have kind of the preconceived notions of just like going in like it's gonna be a terrible movie. Fire James Gunn. Just give the guy a chance.
Watch the movie before you form an opinion on the movie.
Boycott.
Right? It's like come on, y'all. Exactly. It's like come on, y'all. Give it a chance first.
Yeah, if you won't see original movies, you're gonna boycott this. Sure, come on now. Like, let's be real here. Like, come
Right.
on, come on. Like, let's get the fuck out of my face. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing the first look or the first trailer. But moving on, something not Superman related. This weekend, the big second movie of the summer arrives with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the fourth installment of the rebooted Apes trilogy starting back in 2011 with Rise of the Planet of the Apes. So for all you Planet of the Apes fans, the legacy, the originals, of course, the reboot trilogy back a couple years ago, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is many years after the reign of Caesar, a young ape goes on a journey that will lead him to question everything he's been taught about the past and make choices that will define a future for apes and humans alike. So again, this is the universe of the reboot trilogy that from 2011, 2017, the one that ended with War for the Planet of the Apes. And again, I feel right at the bat too, if you have not seen War of the Planet of the Apes, I will say come back to this after watching it, because we probably will again. It's been 7 years. I think fair is fair, unfortunately. Again, also it was spoiled for me when it came out. The month it came out, I was like, I can't believe this happened. I was like, oh come on, bro. I forgot who spoiled it to me. I think we were in college when it came out too. So I was like, really? So if you haven't seen War of the Planet of the Apes, if you want to stay, you don't care about spoilers, okay, you can again give your warning. If not, go watch War of the Planet of the Apes. Come back.
Yeah, if you do care about spoilers, pause this, go watch War for the Planet of the Apes. And then after that, come back, hit play, and then listen to the rest of this podcast.
Well said, my friend. Well said. So again,
that's right.
You've been warned. You've been warned. So, as we all know, in War for the Planet of the Apes, is it War for or is it War of?
I think War for.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Because I think it's like they were like battling, basically for supremacy.
Right, because it's Rise of, Dawn of, and then Kingdom. War for, and then Kingdom of. So
yeah,
War for. So as we all know, War for the Planet of the Apes ended with Caesar being killed. He dies. So Kingdom.
That was wild to me, man. I was sitting in the theater like, homie, what? Homie, what?
I would have loved to experience that too if it wasn't fucking spoiled. But I'm jealous of you. I'm jealous of you experiencing that, and I know War is we'll probably rank the franchise after we do our review. But again, you know, I know how much you love War for the Planet of the Apes. After you the other day, I used to watch all three of them like on Sunday and Monday to get ready for the sequel, and so. Again, War 4 ends with Caesar, as Nick said too. Is like, what the fuck? Like, what? Like, he dies? Like, after all this, what? And it's a pretty big moment. And I think we all thought, like, wow, that's a perfect end to the trilogy. It's a really good end of the trilogy. It's a great trilogy for a really underrated trilogy, if you ask me. And so they announced it back in, I think we'll say 2020. I think, I talked about this too, like during COVID, they were like, another Planet of the Apes? Because again, I already knew what happened. I just watched War for the Planet of the Apes for the first time over the weekend, and I loved it. That was great. But like, I knew like what happened basically. So I was like, I think everyone loves that trilogy so much. Why are they doing a fourth one? I think you and I were kind of like skeptical about it. Like, all right, another one. So this one, to be clear, is same universe as the reboot trilogy. It takes place like generations after the reign of Caesar, after his death. Nick, my friend, what did you think of the newest installment of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes?
Well, it was definitely better than I thought, and I'm not gonna lie, because I know you said I think they announced it in 2020, right?
Yeah.
I must have forgot about it because I don't think I remember like it really being in my head that another one is coming out. Excuse me, until like a month or two ago or something like that. But no, overall, like I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to like it, because initially it just kind of seemed like, okay, well the story ended and now y'all are making another one. It seemed a little bit gratuitous to me, but and I barely even watched the trailer. So I was going in basically completely blind. But I'm watching it and it was really, really good. The main character, who I believe was his name was Noah, played by Owen Teagues. Very not compelling necessarily, but it was a really cool story. I really enjoyed his story, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. I thought that he was going to be well, no, I'm not gonna say that. That might be spoiler, but he had a good story, and his interaction with Freya Allen, I believe, from The Witcher.
Yeah.
Their whole dynamic was interesting, and it was cool seeing that they are kind of what's the word, like the not the juxtaposition, but in a way it's like they're kind of two sides of the same coin. You know what I mean? So it was interesting kind of seeing that, and like just everything about this movie really worked for me. The CGI was stupendous, bro. Like it objectively, I know it's all animated, but it just looks so real. Like it looked like they took their time with it, basically. So that was really cool. And it was cool that there wasn't necessarily like there was an antagonist, but in a lot of ways, like in some ways, it's like I can see where you're coming from with this. I can see your viewpoint with that, and it went in a direction that I wasn't necessarily expecting. And you and I, we had joked about this in the theater because it was like we need to do like XYZ, and I remember like I leaned over to you, I was like I bet it's about to be this. Like if we do like a spoiler version, a spoiler review of it, I'll probably say then, but no, it was cool. And like the conclusion of this movie, I liked a lot too. And even the way this one ended, if they did a sequel, I would be 100% on board with it. I feel like they didn't necessarily need to make this one just the way that War for the Planet of the Apes ended, because I thought that was just a very complete story essentially, and like I was very satisfied with the ending. So again, like when this one was coming out, it was kind of like I was expecting it to just basically just to be a cash grab, which maybe it still low-key is, but if it was a very good cash grab, because not only was it a fun movie, but it was a genuinely good film. You know what I mean?
I love that. Good cash grab. I love that. I'm cool. You
Yeah,
coined
because
that.
it's like y'all did not need to make this movie, but y'all made it good, or y'all made it well. Pardon me, but no, it was really really good. Kevin Durant killed it.
Yeah.
Pardon me, and it was really fascinating to see just what the world is like after Caesar's story had ended, and it was cool to see like just where everybody kind of went and like how they're handling their lives now, and the it was cool to see how the story continued and how it evolved. I gotta say I liked that aspect of it the most, and yeah, I'm gonna just say that because otherwise it would be spoiler city over here.
Yeah, we got to do a full spoiler both for Apes and Fall Guy sometime soon this summer.
Oh yeah, and we got to do one for Superman when it comes out.
Oh, best believe, my guy.
I'm about to get another tattoo.
Best. Okay.
I'm about to get all the Superman logos tattooed on my chest.
That'd be pretty gangster. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That'd be pretty.
Nah, that would be way too much.
Hey, if you do that,
I thought about it though.
WB has to hire you then. Like that's commitment right there.
Nah, for real. Like WB, DC specifically, hire me, man. If you want your movies to succeed, hit your boy up.
Hire this guy.
I'm at Ahmad Johnson 98 on Instagram. Y'all know my name. Y'all know my face. Just hit me up.
You know who the fuck I am.
For real.
What would you give it as a rating?
As a rating, like on a scale of 1 to 10, or in a relation to the previous three?
How about 1 through 10 for now? Then we'll rank them after we end the show. So
okay,
1 through 10 right now.
I think right now I'm gonna say I would give it like basically an 8, but it would be like an 8.8 out of 10. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Okay.
Because it was really good. It was really good. It's top 2 in the category for me for
Really?
the Ace movies. Yeah.
Really? It was funny. I came home when I came home last night to edit our reaction. I was hearing people like, "This is top 2 for sure," and I was like,
"Oh wow."
Yeah, I was like, and I hearing from you, I was like, I think a lot of very kind of like the general consensus, like kind of just like the overall kind of just like group kind of like vote is like people are saying this is their second favorite. I was like, interesting. I'm with you, man. This to me. So I'm sorry, I was incorrect. I think I remember now too. it was announced in 2019 before COVID hit, before I moved to LA. And I remember you and I were talking about it, like, I think we had lunch or whatever, and talking about like another Apes movie. You and I were like, well, this and that, whatever, it could happen like this. And it was West Ball was announced. Matt Reeves wasn't doing it because Matt Reeves was going to be doing Batman, and also Sandy Circus no longer involved because, again, spoilers, Caesar died in War for Planet of the Apes. And I was kind of like, oof, I really like Matt Reeves a lot, what he did with Dawn and what he did with Cloverfield, stuff like that. And I was kind of like, West Ball. And listen, I really did like the first 2 Maze Runner movies. I thought the third one, I know Moses loved the third one. We saw it, I was like, it was kind of just a very kind of anticlimactic ending, if you ask me.
Oh, really? I haven't seen them yet, so
I'll tell you what, it's definitely that. I mean, it was the same time as like Divergent and Hunger Games. It was that kind of like
I
that
saw
YA.
the Divergent movies. I was not feeling those. It was I saw them because someone else wanted to watch them, and I was like, okay, fine, but I did everything I could not to remember them, bro. I'll tell you that.
Hey, as part of our job is to call out a movie when it's garbage. Those movies are hot garbage because those movies. I remember when they filmed them in Chicago, and I was like, oh yes, Divergent, and I was like, Detergent.
Oh, for real?
I like Detergent. I was like, what? And I was like, huh? I remember it came out. Like, you seen Divergent this weekend? And I was like, no, I'm gonna go home and like sleep because I'm like,
yeah. I just like at the time, man. I didn't really care about all these YA
so many
movies that were coming out because one, it was like a lot, and two, it was just like it's based off of books that I haven't even read, so like I didn't really have like an emotional connection to them, because I was reading comic books back then. I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
I really do think the first Maze Runner is the best. I think they kind of get not worse. I think they kind of like decrease in like quality with every one. Because I remember the first one came out, I was like, I don't know, the trailers didn't sold me. I remember seeing it with a friend of mine at the time, and I was like, this was pretty good actually. It was definitely kind of caught me off guard how actually I enjoyed this a lot. But I do think 2 and 3 kind of gets a little caught up the whole like dystopian kind of thing, whatever. It kind of like been there. We've seen that happen. We've done before. We saw it in Divergent. We saw it in Detergent. We saw it in we saw it in Hunger Games. It was just like. You're not bringing anything new to the table. But I remember seeing the last one with Moses in college, and he's like, "Oh, bro, that shit was fire." And I was like, "Really?" And I was like, hey, "It wasn't." I thought it was kind of like an ending, but I would like to see your thoughts about if you do watch them, because again, out of all the YA stuff, they're not the worst, but it's no Harry Potter, it's no Hunger Games, no Harry Potter. Personally,
nothing touches Harry Potter, man. That's my shit.
No, yeah,
that's my shit.
Bro, hell yeah. Likewise, I do think like
I got a Harry Potter tattoo too. No, I'm playing, y'all. I'm playing. It's just a Superman one for now.
Check it out. It's the fucking Elder Wand. I would say because you haven't watched Hunger Games yet. I think you're spending more time. I would say the time worth spent with the Hunger Games is is definitely worth it over Maze Runner personally.
Okay.
So again, when I talk about it, West Ball was announced, and I was like, West Ball, and I was like, okay, I get Maze Runner again. Also, kids remember the time too. It was still Fox before Disney kind of like really took over Fox for what it was. So like, I get it. Maze Runner was a Fox trilogy. And he must have had a deal. He probably had a deal with Fox. Like, hey, no, that's the way back to the car. So basically, what happened was West Ball was developing a movie called Mouse Guard at Fox. And he was like really into production. He was like he was doing the previs. He was the pre-visual effects, kind of the concept visual effects, where the movie begins, where the production begins. I think Matt Reeves was like producing with him too, which is kind of funny enough. And it was just like he was deep into production development. And he's like, yeah, but I shoot this movie this year, whatever, blah blah blah. And then when the merger happened with Disney and Fox, Disney goes, haha, yeah, bro, nah, you're good. And so they canceled it. And he was kind of like, this was like a passion project of mine. Like, I did the Maze Runner trilogy. I can do this movie basically. And it was kind of like, Disney was like, yeah, bro, so what? It is what it is, man. Tough shit. Ta-ta.
Right.
And I was like,
they took it from me, Carmel. That was today. Today.
Literally. They took everything away from me. I got nothing. Just Spider-Man.
Oh my gosh.
Spider-Man 2 quote right there. So it was just kind of like, wait a second, I want to do a movie. So what I heard was like, as a kind of like a sorry, they're like, hey, you want to do Apes? And he was like, fuck yeah, I want to do Apes. And so I think like that's kind of like they're kind of like, hey, compensation package. It was like, hey, my bad, but here you go. So then it was announced like 2019 by I think Variety. It was like our deadline, like really early development. And then everything with traction was going. Then came like in production, I want to say during COVID or 2021, whatever. So, but to your point though, I really do. Again, I remember seeing the first Rise of the Planet of the Apes with my cousin, like, and I think my dad too, like when it came out. Because I don't even remember this. I remember that summer really well because it was like the summer of like last Harry Potter. It was like Captain America, the First Avenger, Green Lantern. Unfortunately, like it was like,
man, like the early 2010s. What as far as being like a movie fan, what a time to be alive. Right?
What a time.
Yeah, because like you just said, the conclusion of Harry Potter, Green Lantern. Like I remember
Transformers,
and that Captain America poster where it's all like dark and he's like holding the shield. That shit was fucking iconic, dude. I thought, oh my, yeah. I was like, this is I exist in the best possible timeline right now.
Dude, it was really, to your point, that early 2010 like blockbuster for the summer was crazy. Like, dude, everything we got.
It was like these motherfuckers don't miss. Even in the heat of battle, they don't miss.
Bro, 2011 summer also had the best movie ever made, Zookeeper with Kevin James.
Zookeeper. Okay, I definitely did not see that one in theaters. I can tell you that right now.
I paid full price, and I was like, the whole time I'm like, I should be. Yeah, I did. I paid full price.
It's funny because I didn't see it in 2011. I saw like sometime after that because the apartment complex that I lived in around that time, they had it where it's like you can rent movies from us, but like you can rent them for free. You basically just sign your name and which movie you took. So I didn't even like get that. I think one of my cousins picked it up. And so like we just kind of watched. I was like, man, you don't change this channel, bro. I'm not trying to watch no Zookeeper. Surprisingly, I said the cast though. Like Sylvester Stallone was in that movie.
Stallone,
I was like,
Cher.
He was like the lion or something. I was like, Rocky?
Yeah,
Julia.
Yeah, I was like, wait, why? I was like, why is Stallone roasting a fucking like lion? I'm like, and then you got like,
let me tell you why he was voicing that lion. I'm gonna because we use this quote a lot. I'm gonna break it down to you, right?
Oh, yep. Yeah, I know what you're going. Go ahead.
In the words of Michael Caine, or I didn't see Jaws 2, or saw the house that Jaws 2 built.
You're what?
I think that's why he did it, because he ain't had nothing but like 18 seconds of screen time.
And
the lion.
By the way, your impression of him gets better and better each time. Hope you know that.
That's because I always practice before the show.
That's pretty what. That makes a lot of sense. And also, too, you know, proves that movie is the Sandman, Adam Sandler, and everyone knows he pays well in his production. So you damn well like that. Everyone got a fat check for sure. Yeah. Everyone got a fat check of that movie. So,
Adam Sandler, if you're listening, hire us.
Hire us, bro. We love your movies. Uncut Gems, man. The Water Boy. Come on, Big Daddy.
Please, Wedding Singer. Just go with it. Blending.
Please. Grown-ups, please.
Grown-ups too.
Not Jack and Jill. That shit was ass.
No, Jack and Jill was wild, man.
That movie's a fucking fever dream. So
fucking Al Pacino and Johnny Depp, bro. I was like, how did y'all get in this movie?
Oh my god! So, but I remember when Rise of the Planet of the Apes came out, and it was like kind of like the end of the summer. It was like, yo, you see the Apes movie yet? And I was like, no. Like, oh, bro, that shit's fire. And I was like, oh, word. And I remember I saw it with my cousin and my dad. I was like, yo, this was really good. I kind of miss that era. I mean, we had it with like obviously Endgame and like, you know, Spider-Man and stuff like that. But like, I feel like last summer especially, man, we had Barbie and Oppenheimer, I guess. But like, we have had a summer was like, yo, bro. See that new movie yet, bro? Shit's fire. Like, we haven't had that in a long time. Like, in a long time.
It's definitely died down. It's definitely... I kind of... I'm not going to blame it 100% on streaming, but I feel like streaming and even like COVID to an extent kind of played a part in that.
Oh, side by side they did for sure. So... I remember seeing it. And I was like, "Holy shit, this movie's really good!" And I saw Dawn with my friends in college. I think Dawn with my friends in high school who didn't see the one before. They go, "Hey, bro, what's in this fucking monkey movie for?" And I was like, "Cause it's good, bro. Let's watch it." They go, "Man, fuck this movie." And they were like, "This shit was really good." I was like, "I told you guys." I was like,
"Yeah, people don't be listening initially, at least."
I remember my friend Giffen Given that love these guys, and they were like, "We're seeing what movie?" And I'm like, "Seeing Planet of the Apes." They go, "I'm not seeing that shit." I'm like, "You see the first one?" "No." And I'm like, "This one's pretty good." They're like, whatever. And these boys were hooked. They were like, "Yo, that movie was good." And I was like, "Yeah, I told you guys." So after the reaction to this last night too, this is a very, very worthy sequel. Like you, bro, I was going in, I was like, it's going to be a cash grab, like a few other movies, Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, Indiana Jones 5. So I was kind of like, because I hate watching a movie, like a sequel like that, and be like, why? Like, why? Like,
Yeah, it was like, did y'all really need to make this movie?
No, and I felt the same. I felt the same way with Ghostbusters. The last Ghostbusters that came out last month. I was like, why was this made? I was like, I don't feel the need for this movie whatsoever. But watching it last night, I was like, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. I see what they did with this movie. It's a very worthy sequel. It's a great follow up to, again, to say yesterday too. It's the last trilogy is almost a near perfect goated trilogy, if you ask me. It's one of the kind of the rare, I guess, recent trilogies where you're just like, wow, like kind of like a John Wick or like a Captain America,
Lord of the Rings.
stuff like that, where it's just exactly, where it's like the consistency is so good. You're like, wow, again, these motherfuckers don't miss. Like they have not,
Right.
they have not missed. And I was worried too because I was like, this is the first Disney produced one after they bought Fox. And I was like, I don't know, man. They own Avatar now. They own Apes. They own all this stuff now. It's just like, for why? To your point, this is a cash grab, but it's a good cash grab because you know why?
Yeah.
There's story to be told. And I do think Westball impressed the hell out of me. Again, like I said, I am a fan of the first Maze Runner for sure. But I was like, why him? He proved like, hey, I love this franchise, and here's my story. And it's hard when you're picking up the mantle from Matt Reeves, who is one of the most beloved filmmakers of all time now with the last two movies, Cloverfield, Let Me In, the Batman, and also again, people forget too, Rupert Wyatt did the first movie with Rise. But no, Matt Reeves did all three of them. No. Rupert Wyatt did the first one, and unfortunately, his career has not gone good.
What else did Rupert Wyatt do?
He did The Gambler with Mark Wahlberg. That wasn't really good, personally.
Oh damn! Yeah, I didn't even see that.
It's kind of like the trailers are kind of like misleading. You're like, oh, okay, this really isn't all that. So he did Rise of the Planet of the Apes. His first movie he ever did was The Escapist. Never heard of it. Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
The Escapist. It sounds kind of familiar.
Did a lot of TV shows I never picked up. The Gambler, a movie called Captive State, and that was the last movie he did in 2019, and he's not been seen since.
Dang.
So,
well, hopefully he's doing okay.
yeah. Which again, I thought he did a good job with the first Apes movie. So
No, that first one was dope. That first one was dope for sure.
it's a good reboot. It's a really good reboot. You're like another Ape movie. But I remember again, like so yesterday too, like that kind of like the cheesiness of like the campiness of those like original ones. People were like, okay, we're over this. Like we don't see this anymore. This is like how Batman had a bad taste in the mouth in our mouths after Batman and Robin. People kind of like these kind of just like these silly Apes movies, and then Rupert Wyatt and the team from Avatar got behind the Apes movie and Andy Serkis. Obviously, they were like, wait a second, this would be cool, kind of how Chris Nolan did with the Batman franchise. You're just like, like okay, you kind of breathe new life into it. So I was definitely impressed with this movie through and through. Like Nick said too, the motion capture and CGI in this is really outstanding. It is on par with the last three movies. I don't think people realize how impressive the CGI and mocap is of these movies. Because we complain about stuff all the time in like bad CGI, The Flash, where it's like these are this it's bad CGI. Like again, I love the Fast and Furious franchise. With something you're like, CGI is pretty bad in this, or any of the Rock movie, you're like, this is pretty bad. But the consistency in terms of quality, CGI, mocap work. And I really do hope that the Oscars and the industry really recognize the mocap actors, especially Andy Serkis, because he really made Caesar one of the most memorable characters of like cinema in a long, long time. But again, they don't say that as quote unquote acting. It's more like, it's more motion CGI, whatever. No, that's acting, bro. I think same thing with Josh Brolin and Thanos in the Avengers movies. Like that's really impressive. And the CGI in these Apes movies are out of this world impressive, and the mocap is so special.
I think the reason, at least like one reason why they're so good, is like they have time. They're able to spend their time on it. You know what I mean? Like it's not all rushed.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like because some of the Marvel stuff, it's like it kind of seems like y'all were like. Obviously, every movie's on a deadline, but it seemed like y'all were on a deadline, but didn't really have enough time to like really like dial in and kind of just put like the finishing touches on it. That's why like people complain about CGI so much, because it's not like CGI kind of just like popped up recently and it's all shitty. You know what I mean? See, like how you keep mentioning Andy Serkis, like when he was doing Lord of the Rings and he was playing a Gollum, like that CGI was fantastic. When Bill Nye was doing Davy Jones in the Pirates of the Caribbean
That's
movies,
right.
like that was 2006 and the early 2000s. You feel me? So, and that CGI that looks better than a lot of the movies that we see nowadays. But it's because like
Absolutely.
we were able to spend time on it, or not spend time, but take our time rather, and fucking perfect it. And same thing with Thanos, but also with Thanos too. As far as like the MCU goes, like Thanos had to be perfect as far as the CGI goes, because it's like this is we've been leading to this since 2012's Avengers, and it's like this is basically like the climax. So it's like
Hmm.
it's one of those things like let the VFX artists have enough time. Don't rush them. Don't put them under all of this like unnecessary pressure. Don't focus, like let them work on the movie and perfect it and everything like that.
And to your point too, bro, you can't again, as someone who's worked in visual effects for 2 months, like you my brief little
You're
stint
like
there.
I was there. I was
Uh,
with them. I was in the
but
trenches.
but it's like I see what they go through, and I see what you hear stories of. Like they're rushed a lot of the times. These folks are rushed. You cannot. It's a very toxic environment sometimes. You gotta let them cook. You gotta let
Right.
you gotta let them do their work. And I think to your point too is like the time spent on these movies, the last trilogy, now this movie, you can tell that like time was spent. It wasn't rushed. People had their time because again, when you're doing mocap too, you do all this stuff. And to your point about Thanos is that you gotta make me feel believable, so we can believe it. Like again, I felt like Caesar was a real monkey in watching the Apes trilogy. I felt like in this
Yeah.
one, Noah was a real ape in this movie, or Proximus was a real ape in this one. Like you gotta believe it. Or I felt like Thanos was a real creature in Avengers. Like you gotta make us believe it because if we don't, if we're not fully locked in or committed, or you're committed, we're checked out. We're like this is real. Like this looks so fake and boo boo AF. Like why do I believe
Right.
this? And I do think this movie especially carries the mantle of like we gotta put the same quality of effort in terms of storytelling, world building, CGI and mocap. Because again, you're following, like I said, almost a near perfect trilogy, if you ask me. So
Hmm.
there's a lot of big shoes to fill, but they delivered on this at all fronts. I will say I was really impressed with the world building in this because again, I do think West Spall. It's not a spoiler, but it's shown in the trailers. I think you probably agree with this too. Don't you think that they're kind of like setting up this kind of world for more installments?
You know what? After watching Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, I hope so,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I would definitely love to see, like what happens next.
Mm-hmm. Because
Like
they,
I would like, man, because I would, especially if it kind of keeps doing this whole like, this is X amount of generations later. Just the evolution of the world now would be really just fascinating to watch.
yeah, and I really hope this movie does well in the box office because if you look at the box office in the last few movies, Rise did pretty good with 55 mil opening weekend, and then
Mm.
Dawn got like 75 opening weekend. But then if you look at War had a dip again. War went down from 75 to sorry, War had 55, so it was a $20 million dip from Dawn, and I was like, I wonder why, because people love, as you know, people, as you especially, you love War for the Planet of the Apes. I like a lot too, but it's like, why did this one dip? So I think if this one does well, this one to your point as well, it's gonna be more movies for sure down the pipeline. But again, I think it depends on like, and these are very expensive movies to make, and
Yeah.
I do think that if it does well, we'll probably get more. But again, after seeing it, I want to see more. But again, it got to keep the same consistency in terms of just quality story building, character character development, stuff like that. And again, what I think people say about this franchise too is that the character development in these series is out the charts impressive. Like they
Yeah, it's good.
really flesh out their characters and develop the characters through and through. And I'm intrigued. When we meet new apes, when we meet new humans, whatever, we're locked in because we're intrigued by their stories and how you're developing these new characters, these new story arcs. And they do a hell of a good job. So I hope it does well, man. I hope it does well because again, I feel like the box office needs this. I think this franchise needs this for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I thought about too last night on the way home from the screening?
What's up?
Take notes, Indiana Jones. To, I feel
Yeah,
like
I don't know what the fuck happened with that movie, bro.
I feel like I said it's hard to make a consistent sequel now, let alone three more after Rise. And they have now proven this of like, hey, we're doing a good job of consistency and kind of like really kind of just like believing in this franchise and really giving you quality, grade A steaks, A1 steak sauce quality of filmmaking. But it's just
Yeah,
like if Indiana Jones did the same thing, a whole different convo about that franchise. Because again, you have a great trilogy with the original. I know people only care for Temple of Doom, but still, it's still a beloved sequel. You have a great three movies, and then Crystal Skull, you're like, what the fuck is this? And then you try winning back the audience with Dial Destiny, and the movie it was a huge flop, lost a lot of money because again, people had a sour taste in their mouth from the fourth one, and again.
yep.
It was kind of like for why this is a cash grab for Indiana Jones from Lucasfilm and Disney or whatever, and for just kind of like the story itself. It's like, and we love James Mangold, he's a great filmmaker, but it's just like there was no need for Indiana Jones 5, no need for Kingdom Planet of the Apes. But guess what? Kingdom Planet of the Apes delivered, and they made us wanted more. When Indy 5,
no, that movie over delivered.
right, exact keyword over delivered, or
Yep.
Indiana Jones 5 was like, oh cool, it ended. All right, I don't want more. I'm fine with that. That's fine. I didn't really kind of satisfy me. I think we were both satisfied with Kingdom, but again, we had hunger for more after seeing it. And, speaking of hunger, it's not a spoiler. I'm keep this no spoiler for everybody. Nick had one of the funniest jokes in this movie that had me cracking up last night, where there's no out of context, no spoilers. They're like we gotta get inside that thing to like see what's inside. I whispered Nick, I'm like, hey, bro, what's in there? And Nick was like, don't you know? It's bananas. And I started crying. I probably butchered that joke. I'm sorry for butchering that joke. But like I was in tears, bro. Like my recliner was shaking because I was laughing so hard.
Is that what that was? I thought it was an earthquake. No, I'm playing, bro.
no. The way I was like leading, rocking back and forth, I was cracking up, and it really had me in stitches. But the second thing to get non spoiler, there's a weird scene transition with an ass, with someone's ass, and then there's a
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, bro.
there's an ass slap in this that felt so unnecessary and so.
It took me off guard, man, because like I was already invested in the movie at that point, but like it was kind of like my eyes just widened so much, and like the slap, it was like as if the slap was from the hand of God himself, man, like straight off the throne. It was just kind of like just right in front of the camera. It was funny, like I don't think it was like meant to be like that, but when it happened, I was like, oh yeah, y'all probably could have like moved the camera or something like that. Like it was just kind of funny how the shot was set up. It just how like out of the blue it was, because it got, like I said, it took me by surprise. I was like, oh god dang.
The shot opens the new scene, like going kind of this like serious thing to a which kind of ass slap.
For real, man, the theater shook.
And we saw it in Cine Capri, which out here in AZ, if you have a Harkin, Cine Capri's kind of like their premium format at the Harkin theaters, because like the surround sound, Dolby, kind of like the best quality picture, whatever. Like we heard, our theater like went pachoom, like kind of shook when we heard like the slap, and like we couldn't stop laughing. And on the way out, when I came home from the movie, I was editing our reaction. I kept laughing so hard where I was like, this is unhealthy, but this is super funny because like it was out of the blue, and out of the blue, and it was so kind of just like, was that necessary? Like,
right.
and we couldn't stop laughing.
No, that was, oh my gosh.
I'll end on this. I really, like I said, I really do love being proven wrong. I always have like critiques, but one critique I did have about this movie was that I thought it was a bit long. It's 2.5 hours. And I think it dragged in the middle just a little bit, where I was like, okay, it didn't bother me to the point where I was like, oh my God, get on with it, let's go. But I do think it could have been cleaned up a few minutes during like the middle to the beginning a little bit of like, okay, I want to, again, you're establishing the world, and I respect the hell out of Westball. And, by the way, this too. The guy wrote this movie is writing the new Fantastic Four movie.
Really?
Yeah, Josh
Okay,
Friedman.
okay. I'm on board. I'm on board.
Josh
Fantastic
Friedman.
Four needs to be good, man, because
Oh God.
Marvel, like phases 4 and 5, they haven't been completely bad, but you know, it's it's no phase 3. You feel
Right.
me? Like they need to
Right.
get back to that.
Yeah. So Josh Friedman, he wrote. I'm not a fan of this movie, but he wrote the War of the Worlds remake with Tom Cruise, Steven Spielberg.
Hmm.
He wrote the last Avatar, and he wrote this movie, and also he'll be writing the new Fantastic Four. So you know what? This guy again, from what I've seen so far, I'm impressed. I thought the writing of this was really good. I thought it was definitely top quality, like compared to like Matt Reeves and Mark Bombax from the last few movies. So
Mhm.
I feel like it's a good get for a screenwriter. Yes, my critique a little bit was the runtime is 2.5 hours. I felt like it dragged just a little bit at the beginning, a little bit in the middle, but overall, I feel like it kind of like it flows by. In the third act goes by
Yeah,
quick. Like, it
it goes
goes,
by hella quick.
it goes, man. And one thing after you said too is that I agree. The acting in this really, again, I like that it was again. It wasn't. We didn't cast like Austin Butler. We didn't cast like whatever. We didn't cast these actors to like be these mocap. But you cast these people that are like not household names. Again, Kevin Durant, who I just saw in Abigail, he was great in Abigail. I thought he was great in this in Proxima Caesar. I thought Owen Teague was really good. I thought Freya Allen was really good. Also, Peter Mackin, who played Raka. I liked his vibe a lot. The character reminded me a lot of Maurice from the original trilogy. So
Yeah, I thought that was Maurice from the original trilogy too. That was because I was asking you about it. I was like, that's not him, is it?
they're both orangutans, but like I
Yeah,
thought it
that's what
was
threw
from.
me off. Not to sound racist towards orangutans, but I mean, shit, they look exactly the same. I thought it was the same dude.
I tell you what, and Raka definitely got the biggest laughs in the movie. Sometimes unintentionally for certain things.
Yeah.
I eat the ass slap.
Oh, no, I was just about to say. I
Uh,
was like, yeah, Rocker's been waiting to do that for a while, man, because you could tell he was living by himself for a little bit.
he was like, "All right, man, cameras ready."
Yeah. He saw it. He's like, yeah, I need that.
This is my moment. But I was really impressed with
Finally.
this. Really impressed with this movie. I think I would encourage everyone to see it in theaters.
Yes.
Again, it's a spectacle of it all. Don't watch this at home. Don't watch this on your iPad or iPhone or laptop, whatever. This deserves to be seen on the big screen. If you're a fan of this franchise, it delivers. If you're a fan of this like really good filmmaking, see this movie again.
Mhm.
It's the commitment that everyone had involved with this movie, from the director, from Westball, Josh Friedman, the writer, the cast, the crew, the mocap, the visual effects artist, Disney itself, 20th Century Studios itself, really show how committed they were to this movie. Again, like Nick said too, definitely a cash grab to a degree, but it's a good kind of cash grab where it's like this movie definitely had a good story and definitely was really intriguing that kind of kept you engaged the entire time. And what Nick said as
Yeah.
well, it made you kind of hungry for more movies in this franchise. So go see this. Go see opening weekend. See it in theaters again this summer, guys. We have a lot of good movies coming out this summer, i.e., The Fall Guy. Now this we have two movies. We have two movies back to back. It's really rare for a summer blockbuster season that are really good with The Fall Guy and this. So go out this summer, see these movies, support these movies. Again, it's important that we have these movies like this on the big screen, not on streaming, not at like on VOD or whatever. Go see it in theaters. I'm giving this really a solid 8 out of 10. It's a really good movie, really follow up. Props to West Ball, props to the team involved. Great job. They deliver on all aspects. Alrighty, my friend. As we end the show, let us rank these movies real quick. These four movies. Start with you. How would you rank these eight movies so far?
So I'm gonna put it at in like literally in this order: War for the Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and then Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Now, all four movies, in my opinion, they're all really good. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I liked it a lot, but I think for me, like at the time, it's one of those like, or it in my opinion, it was one of those where it's like it's a good movie, but it's all like setup basically. So I think that part for me, it was kind of tough for me to kind of like get over that hurdle. But it was a really well done movie. It was really good setup, very compelling, all the characters and everything like that. And But also like James Franco at the time, I was like, I guess I just didn't really see him as like as the leading man. He played his part well, but I was just kind of like, and maybe it's just a comic book nerd in me. It's like I just kind of see you too much
Harry
as Harry
Osborn.
Osborn. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like I
I
see
know
you
what you mean.
more as like as a side character actor, not really as a main guy. But it was really really good. It was really really good for what it was. And the scene, if you haven't seen it yet, spoilers, but the scene where Caesar speaks for the first time in that movie, iconic. So you got to give it that, and I definitely give the movie its flowers. But yeah, War for the Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and then Rise of the Planet of the Apes, in that order.
And it's hard to do this because all four movies are damn good, and it's just
Yeah,
like it's not like oh worst the best whatever. They're all great movies. It's like how do you rank really four good movies? I think it's rare because it's most of the time it's like when we do our tier list, it's like A superior, A B C, a lot of Q, a lot of D's, a lot of F's. In this case, it is a rare time where we have four consistent fucking good movies in a single franchise. That's
yeah.
hard. It's hard to accomplish. To me, I would go. So again, also I recommend to our viewers, to everyone as well. I would watch the original trilogy again before seeing this, just because there's small things you might notice of like a certain character to something or a certain character trait about a certain character, where you're like, wait a second, that's reminds me of this whatever.
hmm
And the way the movie opens too, I would recommend watching the trilogy as well. A,
Yeah,
because
and that's one thing I wish I would have done was watch, like, in preparation for this movie, like watch all the previous three films before watching it. I feel like I would have appreciated it a little bit more. But that's also a testament to the film itself, because I hadn't seen an Apes movie since I saw War for the Planet of the Apes in
7
theaters.
years
But
ago,
yeah, 7 years ago. But
crazy.
this movie, it was still really really good. So it's a testament to the movie, but I think I would have had maybe just like a smidge more fun. I would have appreciated the experience a little bit more had I gone back like Doug and watched the previous three.
They're good, man. I still think if you watch them like now or this week, whatever, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, these are good movies. I think you'll still appreciate like these movies and Kingdom a lot, just because of like because they're good movies. They're really good movies. And I'll
Yep.
tell you what, like this franchise might be one of my kind of like new favorite ones, just because of like consistency.
Hmm.
Like in terms of again, right now my favorite current franchise of like movies is John Wick, because of like how amazing those four movies are. Like those
Oh
are
yeah.
all four of them are just like perfect action movies. And with the Apes movies, I'm like, wow, I felt the same consistency with these movies as I did with the John Wick movies. And that's hard to say nowadays, where you have really four consistent back to back worthy entries in one franchise. Not like, oh, one was better than the other. I mean, well, we have our personal favorites, obviously, but like consistently wise in terms of quality, storytelling, directing, and just like world building,
hmm
I would put John Wick franchise and the Apes franchise in its own bubble, because again, it did what Matrix franchise could not do,
hmm
in terms of just like really bringing consistency and bringing us back to be like invested in these
Yeah.
characters. So I would rank the Apes franchise. It's gonna be tough. I would go Dawn, because
Okay.
Dawn, after watching the Koba on the horse with the machine
Yeah.
guns, that is berserk. That is just like full
Nah, because
on.
Koba was low key that dude. Like Koba was dope.
Do you say the other day too that really kind of I could not agree with more, is that you said this perfectly too. Koba is the Killmonger of the
Yeah.
Apes franchise.
Oh, that's right.
That's
Damn, I be
perfect,
saying some
Nick.
good shit, huh?
I'm giving that to you, my friend, because that was like you said the other day. I was like, "Fuck, you're right, dude. That's so damn right." And it's just that whole the ending, especially of Dawn, is just like crazy, but it's like it's pure spectacle, and the CGI is out of this world great. So I would go
Yeah.
Dawn. I would go Dawn first for sure. This is tough. This is tough. This is tough. I really do like Rise a lot. Like I really like Rise. So
hmm
man, I'm gonna put, because also the experience I had watching it in like eighth grade, I was like, oh my god, this is great. So I would go Dawn, and this might change after rewatching them again or watching Kingdom again. So I would go right now, Dawn, Rise. It's a tie. Dawn, Rise, and then War. I feel like War and Rise are
Ooh.
kind of like side by side because I both love them. I both think they're great movies. And
Uh-huh.
I go Kingdom just because it's so fresh in my mind. So
Yep,
because I'm
yep.
like either kind of revisit it like maybe this summer again or watch it when it comes on Blu-ray or 4K or whatever. So I would go Dawn, Rise, War, and then Kingdom. But again, that might change either my second viewing of Kingdom. And I do like War a lot because of Woody Harrelson. I also love the CGI in that. I love the stuff with the battle sequence at the end too. Kind of just like how like they explain the virus that was mutated, stuff like that, like the evolution
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
virus. So it's tough. So as of now, this could change. Dawn, Rise, War, Kingdom. Still, all four great movies and a really fantastic franchise. If you haven't seen these movies, see them. Watch these movies. If you haven't seen Kingdom yet, you're an Apes fan, you're an Apes franchise fan, see this movie this summer, this weekend, opening weekend with the crowd, by yourself, family, whatever. Go see this movie. But on that, my friend, as we all end this show usually, we do a thing called our one-on-ones. We have a one movie rec and one show rec that we have for you. If you love them, great. If you don't like them, hey, we get it. All film is subjective. We understand, but these are kind of our personal recommendations for you fans, for you movie fans. So, Nick, my friend, what are your one-on-ones of this week?
You know what? For TV, because I don't think I brought this up yet, but my fiance, she just not introduced me, but I had seen like the first episode for the first time of this show. Is called Scandal. I'm sure everybody knows about it. You know, with
Ooh,
Kerry Washington and everything like that.
I love
It
her.
was
Oh,
it was like I've only seen the first episode so far, but it was really, really good. It was better than I had anticipated, and I was kind of I knew about it. I was kind of interested in it because it's Shonda Rhimes, and you know she did How to Get Away with Murder, which I am in season 2, episode 10 of right now. I love that show, and like not okay, my bad, not to start ranting about that show or raving about that show, but like I love how Shonda Rhimes like just I love her characters and how she writes her shows basically. Scandal, I'll admit, like I was more interested in How to Get Away with Murder than Scandal because Scandal just seemed kind of like a procedural, like lawyer political drama show, and like at the time it came out, I wasn't really interested in that. But my fiance Kayla showed it to me, and it was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. It was like, okay, dang, I really, really, really got to check this show out or the rest of it out. And it was a lot more compelling, just how intelligently the characters are written and how how fast paced everything is, but in a way where you still understand what's going on. Like you're not lost, but it's also kind of like um it's like dang, like it feels like kind of like a lived in world. Like I loved how like the first scene uh with Columbus Short's character, like kind of his introduction, or like it was this character coming in, and like it was basically her introduction. She was basically the audience, so like she served as like the audience surrogate. Her introduction, our introduction into this world, and just kind of seeing how like okay, well we kind of have this picture of Kerry Washington's character as, you know, she's the main character, she's the one that we're rooting for, but she's not afraid to like get her hands dirty and, you know, and handle her shit. So that was just really, really fun to see and fun to watch. And I'm excited to get to the rest of the series for sure. But the pilot episode just like I was like, dang, Shonda Rhimes, like I know I keep saying this, but it's like, hey, she just don't miss. It was really, really good. And you know what, for my movie recommendation, just since we were kind of talking about it a little bit earlier, I'm gonna say Superman Returns.
nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Superman Returns. That
That's a
movie
good one.
is underappreciated. You know what? I'm gonna do a 3-in-1. It's all 3 movies are Superman movies, but Superman the movie, Superman Returns, and Man of Steel. Those movies are low key
Triple
slept on, in my
feature.
opinion. What's up?
A perfect triple feature.
Exactly, man. I'm about to
A
do that this
super
Saturday,
triple
probably.
feature.
A super triple feature. Facts, bro. Yeah, because and I picked those movies. One, Superman the movie. It's not like an underrated movie. It's I think no, it's just a classic. It's amazing filmmaking and it's great like comic book filmmaking. Because like I said earlier, Christopher Reeve I think might be the best like film Superman, and that's no disrespect to any of the other live action Superman or Supermans that we've seen, but man, Christopher Reeve, he just like really, really understood the character, and I loved his take on the character because he was even doing an interview about Superman, and the dude asked him, or the person doing the interview, the interviewer had asked him, you know, like, why do you think Superman resonates with people so much? And Christopher Reeve's response, and I'm paraphrasing here, was essentially Superman resonates with people so much because like his Superman's approach to all these conflicts, like Superman's like core essence is that he's a friend. He just wants to be there for everybody. And it's like wow, you know, I've never heard Superman really be explained or like broken down like that. Yeah. And Christopher Reeve, the way he played Superman, it just, there was an earnestness to him, and just like a sincerity that I don't think we've like necessarily gotten in the Superman movies, at least in the way that Christopher Reeve does. I'm sure that Henry Cavill wanted to do that, because I could, like, in interviews, and especially when it seemed like he was going to come back after Black Adam, you know, he was like, you know, yeah, we're gonna start doing stuff that's a little bit more in line with the comics. I know Shade of Snyder, obviously, but you know, less of a more gritty, realistic Superman, and more of a, you know, like more lighthearted, more hopeful, basically a brighter version of the character. But like, man, Christopher Reeve and Superman the movie, like that just knocked it out of the park. And apparently, whenever they're making an MCU movie, Kevin Feige will watch Superman the movie to kind of like help him just like mentally prepare for it. And also,
no way.
When Kevin Feige was first getting his start, like when he was working on the first X-Men movie way back in, it was either like 99 or 2000.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's produced by one of the Donners. I want to say Laura Donner.
She produced all of the Fox X-Men movies. It's right.
That's right. So like he basically, it's almost like, I'm not gonna say like the MCU like happened because of Christopher Reeve's Superman the movie, but you know, I think there's some inspiration there for sure. And again, like Donna, because it was directed by Richard Donner, who's related to Laura Donner. I don't remember if he's her father or her husband, so don't quote me on that. But
let's see. No, she was the wife of
she was married to him. Okay, gotcha.
She was until Donner passed away back in I believe 2021.
Yeah, rest in peace, Richard Donner. But yeah. So okay. So just scan on Superman the movie. I know I'm kind of like rambling, but I just Superman, he's just such a slept on comic book character, bro. I got to admit, but yeah, because it's just, even like when you take all the comic book shit away from Superman the movie, just the filmmaking and just the filmmaking in general, man, like the score, the way the shots are set up, and just the overall like themes of the movie are just it's like, wow, like it's one of those, this isn't a movie, it's a film type deals. And I just love it, you know, and it's fantastic. It's stupendous. It's superb.
I'm looking at Lauren Donner's right now. I hope it's not the case, but I think her last Marvel thing that she produced is unfortunately the New Mutants.
Yikes! Oh man.
IMDb says of now she's producing Deadpool and Wolverine, but we'll see about that. Because I know Kevin Feige loves being the sole producer on the movies. Yeah. So we'll see come July. But I hope that her last movie is not produced Marvel wise is New Mutants, because that's a really kind of shitty way to end a great Marvel producing.
Yeah, because New Mutants, like no disrespect to anybody that worked on the movie, but in my opinion, I wasn't really feeling New Mutants like that. It like you said, it definitely was a bit of a letdown. Eesh. I'll just leave it at that, I guess. I don't want to be too negative right now.
She also produced one of your favorites, Constantine.
Oh, hell yeah. So
yeah, she has a good. Oh, she produced Semi-Pro. That's hilarious. She has a great resume, man. I'm impressed. Yeah. So this week for my show, I just watched a show on HBO Max. I'm a big Conan O'Brien fan. I loved his show. I loved his Conan show. I loved his work as like in comedy, whatever. He's a show because after he ended the show at TBS, his talk show. HBO, Warner Brothers, who owned his show, back in the day through TBS, gave him his own show on HBO Max. It's called Conan O'Brien Must Go. It's a four episode series for now, and he goes to like Argentina, Norway, Thailand, and it's really funny. It's really funny. It's very light. It's very heartwarming. It's really funny. And he kind of interacts with kind of these random people, and he kind of walks around these towns, kind of just like, hey, how's it going? Like, kind of just talks to these random people, kind of be goofy, whatever. And if you're a fan of Conan, it's kind of brand of humor. It's a funny show. It's a really funny show, and like the Norway one was really funny. The one Argentina was pretty funny, and the one Thailand I liked a lot. What was the fourth one he went to? I forgot. But it was funny. I was laughing a lot in this. Where I'm like, oh, this is a fun show. And I love how quick he is with like the locals, because like they're kind of calling him like, oh, you're kind of ugly, you're kind of like weird or whatever. And he's like, all right, thank you, I guess. And it's like the way he reacts to people is really funny. Like that's why I love him and like Ice Cube and Kevin Hart doing like the lift thing they did, or like the thing with like the student driver. Like,
I remember that.
Right, it's so funny when he's kind of like not on set, where it's kind of like doing kind of like random kind of like improv, kind of just like.
No, because his improv is incredible. He's really, really funny just off his feet or on his feet.
Exactly.
I don't know what the expression is.
He's quick. Like he's
very quick. Yep.
He's really quick, and he has like really good responses. Norway, Argentina, Thailand, and Ireland, and it's really good. 4 episodes, both like 40 minutes each. It's a quick watch. It's super fun. Again, I love kind of like lighthearted kind of stuff like that. And again, I'm a big fan of Conan from his brand of like humor, as you said, improv and light on his feet. It's a funny show. It's a really funny show. I liked it a lot. It was a feel good kind of funny show. I recommend it. It's on HBO Max. Worth the watch. And for my, that's tough, for my movie this week. Okay, I'm gonna go with one that I saw that I was talking about with my friend like a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh yeah, I thought that movie, and I saw like I collect vinyl still to this day, and I was kind of curious about like what albums do I want on my wish list, whatever. I was kind of looking online. I'm like, no way, I'm going through some like soundtracks. Like, I want the Like Mike soundtrack. I want the Longest Yard soundtrack. Like,
yeah.
I have a very weird wish list on my vinyl collecting page.
It's not weird. It's unique.
Thank you, man. The reassurance, my man. I appreciate you.
I got you, bro. I got you,
Nick.
It's distinct.
Yes, thank you. Distinct and unique. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that shit. A movie that I didn't know had a vinyl of, a movie that absolutely just shaped my childhood, is Osmosis Jones.
Yo, no, that was the movie back in the day. That was the movie. Hey, let's watch that this weekend.
Or
next weekend maybe.
Bro, I love Osmosis Jones, bro. It's a I love the kind of like the hybrid of like cartoon and live action, whatever. It's a Farley brother movie. Great cast: Chris Rock, Bill Murray, Lawrence Fishburne. The list goes on and on and on. And it also has one of the best hip hop soundtracks for a movie soundtrack. Like, you got Nelly, Saint Lunatics, you got Drama, you got, oh my gosh, you got, a list goes on and on. You got you have a great soundtrack. To me, Osmosis Jones and Space Jam has 2 of the best soundtracks for like kids movies, quote unquote kids movies. Like, you got for Space Jam, you got stuff like Coolio, Busta Rhymes, Be Real. You got stuff, D'Angelo. You got a really good soundtrack. And I'm like, wow, these 2 soundtracks are hard AF, but also just so good for quote unquote children's movies. So I had the Space Jam soundtrack on vinyl, but I was like, wow, Osmosis Jonas soundtrack. I was like, I love this movie. Again, it's a movie that obviously did not do well at all. Remember, this is the same department that did the Iron Giant, a lot of like early WB animation. This movie bankrupted them, unfortunately.
Osmosis Jones?
Yeah, dude. Oh, wow, bro,
I didn't know that.
This movie cost them a fortune, and the returns were terrible. So that's when the animation department got bankrupted. It filed for bankruptcy because of this, and they were like, "We will never do the hybrid stuff ever again." And B, we will never do 2D animation like this ever again. So that movie did not do well at all. But it's really, again, it's a staple of its time. but it's a really cool blend of animation and live action comedy. Again, Chris Rock is great voice casting. Lawrence Fishburne is scary AF as the villain. Like I said, great soundtrack. A lot of kind of like innuendos for a kids movie. Kind of Shrek has good innuendos for a kids movie, but it's a big part of, again, if you're a 90s kid like us, it's a big part of our childhood too. And it's a really, really slept on movie. I remember watching during COVID. I was like, kind of very timely for COVID because of the virus and everything going on. I was like, wow, this is pretty good with the times, I guess, right now. But yeah, you had Ron Howard, William Shatner, Brandy Norwood. It has a really, oh my God, Kid Rock. It has a really.
Bro, apparently the Kid Rock song. Apparently there were like some mad sus.
Oh,
lyrics.
That's right. Yes.
Because I was reading them. I was like, wait. I was singing this back then. Oh, yeah. Hell no.
Cool Daddy Cool. They're in like the club called the Zit. And
yeah, bro, he's about to be, and you might want to edit this part out, but I'm like, hey man, with lyrics like that, you about to be hanging out with Diddy and R. Kelly pretty soon.
No, I'm keeping that in because guess what? It's the truth. It's the truth.
Ah, this is true.
It's the truth. And I'm like, if I buy the vinyl soundtrack of it, I'm skipping that song every time. I'm like, no, I'm good.
No, for real.
I'm good. But anyway, Osmosis Jones basically is like, it's Bill Murray plays this kind of like zookeeper kind of. Speaking of zookeeper guy has really bad. He's a really bad like health habits, like really bad hygiene too. But the movie kind of takes place inside his body, the white blood cells, voiced by Chris Rock. And it's kind of like
that Chris Rock voices the white blood cell.
How ironic is that? But
who would have thought, huh?
Who would have thought? And it's definitely Chris Rock, kind of just like going full Chris Rock with the voice, kind of like before he did Marty in Madagascar. And it's basically like, and then one day Bill Murray eats something kind of like really kind of contagious, and then this virus comes in, played by Lawrence Fishburne, who's really creepy in this movie too. And it's
he was creepy, but he was really like surprisingly suave and cool.
He was suave. Thank you. He was very slick. He was very slick. I agree. He was very suave. The way he was like, "Hey, baby, how's it going?" Like very Lawrence Fishburne. Like very like almost a Morpheus to a degree, but very kind of just like the way he does his kind of like, "Yeah, be cool, man. Be cool."
Yeah.
Like,
if Morpheus was like, "I'm gonna just be evil today."
Yes, that's what it would be like, basically. And basically, Bill Murray starts getting sick, and it's up to Osmosis Jones and this medicine pill that Bill Murray swallows. Again, it's a very weird concept. I know I'm explaining it's really weird, but man, it's a banger of a movie. Again, great soundtrack, really funny, really cool blend of hybrid animation and live action. Again, it's a staple of us 90s kids, really early 2000s. Again, awesome soundtrack. So I'm going with Osmosis Jones. It's a very underappreciated animated live action comedy. Check it out. I think you can watch it for free on like Tubi or the Roku channel. But yeah, or watch it on any kind of like, probably any kind of like, I don't know, Nick at Night or Adult Swim, probably on their, on, you know, cable TV. You still have cable. But it's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. Fortunately, it cost the studio a lot of money, but hey, you know what? Yeah. So it cost, right, Nick? It cost them $70 million for the budget, plus marketing, distribution, so 140 million overall, right?
Okay.
Opening weekend, it made $5 million.
Oof.
Gross US made 13.5 mil. And ready for this? The worldwide gross, 14.1 mil.
That's rough. Dang, Zuko was like, "That's rough, buddy."
So that movie bankrupted WB Animation, and they were like, "We would never do movies like this." Yeah, bro.
Because it seemed like as a kid, like everybody loved that movie, or maybe it was just
absolutely.
No, you feel me? But it's like I'm kind of surprised about that. Wow.
Absolutely, bro. And it's like again, us 90s kids love this movie, love Space Jam, stuff like that. We love the Iron Giant. Like we love those movies, and then it's like. Yo. You see stuff like this movie where it's like, Osmosis Jones basically bankrupted the animation department WB. So it's like, good to know. But I'm going with that. Those are our one-on-ones of the week. Hope you enjoy our picks. And also, too, before we get logged out to my two celebrity crushes, other than Ryan Gosling and Bradley Cooper, is Ana de Armas, as you already know, and Kerry Washington. I love Kerry Washington. She is
I did not know that. That's what's up though. That's what's up.
Beautiful, bro. Oh my gosh, she is beautiful. She was in a really kind of weird movie with Craig Robinson, I think Tyler Perry produced, called Peoples.
Yeah, I saw that movie because David Allen Greer was in that movie as well.
That's right. I remember seeing it. I remember walking in with my friends, being the only white guy in theater. I was like, "Hey, I want to see this movie, downtown Chicago." And I was like, you know what? I had fun with it. I love Craig Robinson. I love Craig Robinson so much.
Yeah,
and
he's funny.
I like that movie. It's funny. It's not a great movie, but I liked it. It was funny.
Yeah, it was cool. It was definitely a good time. It wasn't.
It was silly.
Yeah.
It was silly, but I like that movie. But again, we hope you enjoy one-on-ones. Hope you watch. Hope if you like him, let us know. If you don't like him, let us know too. We want to hear from you. Alrighty, my friend Nick. As always, we end the show with how our audience can find us. Where can our audiences find you on the socials?
So you can find me on YouTube at Dawning Vision, capital D as in Dawning, capital V as in Vision. And on Instagram at Dawning Vision, all lowercase, all one word. And also at Ahmad Johnson 98 on Instagram as well. That's A-H as in hot dog, M as in mad, A, D as in damn, Johnson 98. All lowercase, all one word, no spaces on Instagram.
You do the best. Got him. The TikTok sound.
Thank you, Robert. Got him.
Yes, and you can find the show. Our socials are at Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, all at one word Midway Avenue Productions. You can find my socials on Instagram at The Young Jones. Find me on X or Twitter at Capri Sun, Capri_Sun, SON. And again, the show is at Midway Avenue Productions, one word, on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. But again, subscribe, rate. We want to hear from you guys. Your feedback truly means the world to us. Again, we are just beginning now with our summer movie preview, summer movie season. We have a lot more in the pipeline. We got Bad Boys, we got Deadpool and Wolverine, we got Twisters, we got Borderlands, we got everything.
Yes,
we got everything. Like Oprah, you get a review, But we hope you're having a great start to your summer season. Again, tune in every week. Have your notifications ready for us. Again, YouTube, whatever, TikTok, Instagram. We are here at Midway Production. The show is called The Genre of Your Life. And as always, guys, we'll see you at the movies.